Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of July 17th. We have a very big week of strong cosmic activations. Let me break it down. At the start of this week, on July 17th, we have both the Cancer new moon and the lunar nodes changing signs. And then as we get to the end of the week on July 22nd, the sun will shift into Leo, moving us out of Cancer season into Leo season. And then on this day, we also have Venus stationing retrograde. And then on the 23rd, so just the next day, we have Chiron retrograde. So what does all this mean? This is going to be a big week, and maybe you are already feeling that build up of energy. You might be feeling more sensitive, your emotions might be feeling more heightened. You might be noticing this in the people around you, in the world around you. There is a lot of strong energy kind of bubbling up, floating up, rising up. This energy, when I feel into it, feels like energy that comes from below and then rises up through us. And that can sometimes, when energy flows in this way, that can sometimes create a little bit of anxiety. You can kind of get stuck in our stomach, stuck in our creative center, stuck in that, those root and sacral chakras can sometimes get a little bit stuck. So if you're feeling that, there are a couple of things that are going to help relieve that. Doing deep belly breathing. So that's when you inhale and you imagine you're pushing air into your belly, so your belly expands. Doing belly breathing, spending time near water, and that is because of the Cancer new moon. Water can be very healing. Also staying hydrated, being really conscious about just drinking lots and lots of water so you can flush and help things flow through your body. Moving your body, exercising, trying to get out of stagnant patterns, and then just being gentle and nourishing towards yourself, activating a little bit of that divine mother energy, which is that divine mother is the mother of all. It's the mother of all of us, and it knows exactly what is needed to provide nourishment, nurturing, safety, and comfort. So activate that divine connection in your own life, in your own body, and do what you need to feel supported, comforted, and secure. So there are a couple of things that might help guide you through this energy. Now let's talk about the energy. Let's get into the astrology of it all a little bit. So July 17th, I'll start at the beginning. We have the lunar nodes shifting signs. This is a big cosmic event. The lunar node shifts signs about every 18 months or so. So the last shift that we had was back in January of 2022. So if you think back to that time, since January 2022, what lessons have come up for you? What areas have you been guided to grow in? How have you evolved since this time? Because that karmic cycle that was activated in January of 2022 is now coming to a close. And that cycle would have been triggered. You would have felt triggered for any of those karmic lessons on every eclipse that we had in Taurus and Scorpio. The lunar node shifted into Taurus and Scorpio, and on every Taurus and Scorpio eclipse that we had, those lessons would have been triggered, would have been activated. So you can go back, look and review what has been going on for you under those eclipses, and then also since January of 2022. If you want to dive deeper into that, I'll put an article below, and that will kind of guide you through how to look back over what kind of themes you're looking for and some of the specific dates that you can also look at. So I'll drop a link below. That will be the lunar nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. That is the cycle that we are closing. The new cycle that we are beginning is the lunar nodes moving into Aries and Libra. So on July 17th, we are kind of closing the door on a karmic cycle and also opening the door on a new one. So there's a new karmic cycle we are now working with, and this is the Aries Libra lunar node karmic cycle. So again, on every eclipse that we have moving forward in Aries and Libra, will unlock more and more of this karmic cycle and how we are being called to level up, to evolve, to step into a higher consciousness. And again, I have an article all about it. I'll drop a link in the description box below. And again, you can have a look at that, what kind of themes you can expect, and how you can start tracking it. So by the time this karmic cycle ends, you're able to look back and understand it with a bit more clarity. Also, if you want to do a little more homework, the last time we had the lunar nodes in Aries and Libra was the end of 2004 to 2006. Was in that kind of time frame. So if you, I think it was June 2006. So if you want to look back to maybe what was going on in your life at that time, it's not that the same thing is going to happen, but similar themes might be coming up for you. And I always get people saying, I don't remember what I was doing. Well, then that's okay. You know, keep a journal, keep notes, so the next time this cycle comes around, you can start to identify these patterns. Or don't, just go with the flow, see what unfolds for you. This Aries Libra energy is very much about balancing independence and the relationships in our life, balancing taking care of our needs with the needs of others. There's very much going to be a push-pull here when it comes to our relationships, our codependent tendencies, our independent tendencies. Balancing all that out, that seems to be a big theme of this Aries Libra nodal shift. And it also seems quite fitting that it's happening the same day Venus, the planet of relationships, also stations retrograde. So like I said, a lot of energy to unpack, and I'm going to try to not get too deep into the astrology, to kind of keep it simple. So that's the lunar node shift. Basically, in a nutshell, ending of one karmic cycle, beginning of another. We also have on this day the Cancer new moon. So the Cancer new moon is going to heighten and activate this lunar node shift. Maybe I'll go back a little bit. What are the lunar nodes? Lunar nodes are actually a mathematical point calculated between the sun and the moon. So they're not a planetary body, they're just a mathematical point. And they're actually very esoteric. They're very considered the very spiritual and divine in nature. If you want to dive into your own lunar node placement, so that's where the lunar nodes were when you were born, it can give you clues into your purpose, it can give you clues into your past life, what your soul came here to do. And if you want help with that, I have a book all about it, The Ultimate Guide to Astrology. You can find it Amazon, all the big book retailers. I go into what it means when you're born under a certain lunar nodal placement. So they're very awesome to kind of look at and unlock. And on a collective level, it can indicate where as a society we are being led, where we are being guided to evolve. And so the lunar node shifting into Aries and Libra is really helping us to evolve when it comes to our independence, our creativity, the way that we move through the world in terms of feeling strong and confident and proud of who we are, rather than sort of sinking back and just doing what everyone else is doing. It's going to be a very independent time where we'll see more and more people wanting to go out, do their own thing, do things in their own way. That's some of the manifestations we may start to see under this placement. So the Cancer new moon heightens all of that. It heightens the karmic energy around the lunar nodes. It heightens the sensitivity of the ending and beginning of this new karmic cycle. It also activates our heart energy. And when our heart energy is activated, we are more open. We are open to receiving. We are open to taking in the energy of the world around us. And so if you find yourself feeling extra sensitive, do some heart clearing energy, do a heart chakra meditation, set an intention that your heart's open to receiving love and, clear out everything else, you're going to want to protect and align your heart center energy, because, like I said, it's a very, very strong start to our week. This Cancer new moon is also wonderful for, well, any new moon is wonderful for setting intentions, and the type of intentions that are best suited to the Cancer new moon are intentions around your home and family life, intentions around relationships, anything to do with the heart matters, heart healing, and your connection to your family and the feelings of comfort and security that may or may not be present in that connection. So they're all wonderful things to focus on when we have a Cancer new moon. But I would suggest, because the energy is so strong and there is so much, cosmic vibrations flowing around, I would just keep it very, very gentle, and maybe bring your attention and your focus, rather than trying to manifest external things or set big, grand intentions, to bring your focus back to just bringing yourself into alignment, bringing yourself into a state of peace, bringing yourself into a state that can receive the beautiful healing energies that are coming in at this time too, the beautiful clearing energies, and welcoming this new karmic cycle, and welcoming the benefits, the gifts, the lessons that will come with it, kind of aligning into that headspace. It's a good way to use this new moon. And then as we get to July 22nd, the sun moves into Leo. The sun loves to be in Leo. That is its ruling zodiac. So we are really getting strong solar energy on this day. The sun in astrology represents the core of who we are. It's sort of our inner flame. So all through Leo season, we're really being encouraged to ignite that inner flame, to get excited, to follow our passions, to remember that we are divine, unique, incredible beings that each have a light that we are destined to bring to this world, to bring to our lives, no matter how mundane they might seem. That is our reminder through Leo season. Leo, one of the highest gifts of Leo is actually simplicity. I know we tend to think of Leo the lion and glamour and, showiness and, the lion mane, all magnificent and beautiful and captivating. But actually, at its core, Leo is a very simple energy. It's sort of just reminding us that we simply just show up as ourselves. We just allow ourselves to be who we are. I want to share something that my therapist shared with me. She said, don't make the parts of you wrong. Don't make any parts of you wrong. And that's really, really stuck with me. And so I share it with you because I think it was a very profound thing for me to hear, that no part of me is wrong. All parts of me deserve to be heard. All parts of me deserve a place. And, take that with you too through Leo season, that, just being simply yourself, that no part of you is wrong, that simply showing up as yourself is how your divine light shines the brightest. It's how your divine light shines the strongest. It's not the jewels. It's not the fact that you can meditate for 10 hours. It's just being you. That's how it is. So remembering that as we move into Leo season. And again, we have two big things happening on the same day. Sun moves into Leo, and then we also have Venus retrograde in Leo. There is so much to talk about and share with this Venus retrograde, but ultimately it comes down to our relationships, heart healing, heart wounds that need to be healed. Past relationships might come up, and past relationship dynamics that we need to move through, that we need to sort through, are also likely to come up under a Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde aims to expand our heart, open our hearts, get us deeper into receiving and being able to give love, giving and receiving love. It also helps us to look at things connected to our self-worth. So that's the things that we value, money, how we move through what we accept in our lives. Our self-worth can also be challenged under this energy. Are you living are you living from a place where your self-worth is down here, or are you living from a place where your self-worth is up here? And that can be something that also comes up under a Venus retrograde. So if you want to dive deeper into this Venus retrograde energy, I also have an article that goes into depth. I'll drop a link in the description box below, but you can also find it at foreverconscious.com. So a lot of heart healing work. I will touch more on Venus retrograde as we get into it, because there are a couple of days coming up in August that we're really getting strong Venus retrograde energy. So this won't be the last time you're hearing about it. Venus retrograde tends to be the strongest when it starts and when it ends, but then also we have some activation days coming up. So this is a strong time where we're feeling the energy, but you'll hear more about it as we move through it. So lot of divine feminine energy can also come from Venus, and that divine feminine energy, which lives in all of us, regardless of your gender or gender expression, that divine feminine energy lives in all of us. And that's also something that can be activated and healed and nourished and rejuvenated as Venus enters the underworld. And then on the 23rd, Chiron, the asteroid known as the Wounded Healer, also stations retrograde. So we are getting a buildup of retrograde energy happening, and this will only intensify as we get into August. On August 4th, Mercury will start slowing down, preparing for its retrograde at the end of the month. So we do have a lot of strong retrograde energy happening in August. I think by the end of Leo season, we will have 6 planets in retrograde. So a lot of retrograde energy building. And when that happens, things tend to slow down. It's very reflective. We need to go within. So Chiron retrograde will happen in Aries, and it will be guiding us to also do some healing. So we're getting a bit of a theme. And because with this Venus energy, because of this Cancer new moon as well, it really seems like we're getting a lot of attention drawn to our hearts, a lot of heart healing, and Chiron will be kind of doubling down on that. So a lot of healing energy in the works at the moment. A really good time to peel back those layers and to start digging deep, clearing stuff out that no longer needs to be there, addressing those nagging inner voices or those things that just are not sitting right with you, making peace with yourself, accepting all of who you are. No part of you is wrong. So I hope you found that helpful. It is a very big week, so look after yourself, be your own divine mother, work on that connection of just nourishing, nurturing, and looking after yourself. I hope you found that helpful. You can find more at foreverconscious.com. Have a wonderful week. Look after yourselves. Stay hydrated. Use your tools to keep yourself in balance, and try your best this week to focus on just bringing yourself to a state of inner peace. Thank you so much.